In modern warfare, drones and planes have every bit as big a part to play as humans and handheld weapons. That's because the weapons of warfare change as technology progresses and evolves. That doesn't make the weapons of the past any less fascinating or deadly though, and we're about to prove that in this video. Let's start with the Rumpa, an ancient bladed weapon that left its mark in history, predominantly wielded by the Thracians from around 350 to 400 BCE. This fearsome piece of weaponry featured a straight or slightly curved single-edged blade, typically around 24 to 31 inches in length, designed not just for slashing but also for thrusting, thanks to its considerable size and shape. The tang, another essential part, measured around 20 inches, hinting at a balanced design that would have made this weapon formidable in the hands of skilled warriors. What's truly intriguing is how the Rumpa, alongside its cousin the falx, prompted the Romans, a superpower of the era, to redesign their armor. This was no mean feat. The Rumpa's cutting prowess was such that, after clashing with it in Dacia, the Romans felt compelled to add reinforcing bars to their helmets, a testament to the weapon's effectiveness and the only known instance of Roman armor evolving in direct response to a new armament challenge. This historical tidbit underscores the Rumpa's significant impact on warfare strategies and armor development. Next, we have the Madu, also known as the Madu. Originating from Tamil Nadu, this unique weapon holds a special place in the ancient martial art of Silambam. Imagine two sturdy horns of the Indian blackbuck, pointed in opposite directions and joined by two crossbars that serve not only as handles, but as a shield of sorts when faced with an adversary. The Madu's design is ingeniously crafted for both offensive and defensive maneuvers, allowing the wielder to confront foes with a blend of grace and power. What makes the Madu particularly intriguing is its historical blend of function and form. It started with organic materials and evolved with the inclusion of steel for enhanced durability and strength. This weapon is steeped in tradition, yet adaptable to the needs of combat and self-defense, demonstrating the ingenuity of its creators. Its techniques are inspired by the natural world, emulating the movements of animals like frogs, tigers, and eagles, allowing practitioners to engage in combat with a profound connection to their surroundings. The performance aspect of wielding the Madu in Silambam is not just about showcasing skill, but also about capturing the essence of combat through a dance-like expression. It's a test of agility, precision, and tactical defense, ending dramatically when one combatant masterfully disarms the other. Our next item is the meteor hammer, an ancient Chinese weapon that is as intriguing as it is deadly. This weapon, essentially two weights connected by a flexible rope or chain, is known for its versatility and the element of surprise it offers. Known by many names, including the flying hammer and dragon's fist, it's a prime example of the so-called soft weapons, celebrated for their concealability and unexpected striking power. The meteor hammer comes in two main variants, the double-headed and the single-headed. The double-headed version is usually about 6.6 to 9.8 feet long and can be used for both offensive and defensive moves, thanks to its dual spherical heads. It's particularly fascinating because it allows for simultaneous attack and defense, a quality that requires high skill, but offers high rewards in martial arts. On the other hand, the single-headed meteor hammer, akin to the rope dart but longer and heavier, can be exceedingly difficult to control. However, when mastered, it can deliver strikes with tremendous force, making it a formidable weapon. Although its historical use in actual combat is debated, its role in martial arts and wushu displays today speaks to the enduring legacy of this unique weapon. How could a 15th century Italian soldier do battle at night if it was too dark to see his opponent? Did he go to bed and wait until morning? No, he used a lantern shield. The curious shields featured a small hole at the top into which a lantern could be fitted, accompanied by a second compartment for oil. That way, a soldier could keep fighting all the way through the night until the sun came up. An alternative theory is that the lantern was supposed to be an offensive weapon designed to blind an opponent. Historians differ in opinion about whether the devices were genuinely used in combat or whether they were only used by the ancient equivalent of police officers patrolling the streets of Italian cities at night. In any event, they were probably more trouble than they were worth. It would have been easy for the oil to leak out across the shield, setting the arm of the wearer on fire and leaving him at a significant disadvantage. It might not be a perfect invention, but it's extremely forward-thinking for its era. The Jihuan Dao, more commonly known as the Chinese sword with rings, stands out as a unique and fascinating piece of martial arts weaponry. Hailing from the combat traditions of China, this distinctive sword is renowned for its 9 metal rings attached to the backside of the blade, giving it a singular appearance and sound that can't be mistaken. Beyond the sheer aesthetics, the rings carry deep cultural significance and are steeped in mythology, symbolizing everlasting health, harmony, and imperial authority in Chinese culture. The most spellbinding aspect of this sword is the blend of practicality and symbolism. The rings serve various purposes, from creating intimidating sounds that could disorient an opponent to potentially trapping enemy blades. While the practical effectiveness of these features in combat can be debated, the psychological impact on opponents and the symbolic weight carried by the sword are undeniable. The craftsmanship of such swords is an art in itself, requiring skilled swordsmiths to intricately place and balance these rings, a testament to centuries of metallurgical and martial tradition. This sword transcends its physical form, embodying a piece of Chinese history and martial philosophy. We've already looked at one remarkable old sword in this video, but there's always time to look at another. This unusual-looking sword is known as an Aztec Macuahuitl, and despite its relatively benign appearance, its obsidian blades were so sharp that they could decapitate a horse with a single blow. Perhaps the skull design on its surface is a clue about its lethal properties. Weapons like this one were made from oak wood, with multiple tooth-like blades made from volcanic glass. When used on the battlefield, the weapons would either sever limbs or cause catastrophic bleeding. In some respects, they were far more dangerous than an average sword. Despite the fact that the Aztecs were big fans of the Macuahuitl, they probably didn't invent it. Most historians believe that the weapons were common across Mexico and Mesoamerica, although it was the Aztecs who came to master them. Even Christopher Columbus himself was fascinated by the Macuahuitl after seeing it used in battle and collected samples of them to take back home to Spain. Sadly, there are no original examples of Macuahuitl left in the world today. Most of you are probably familiar with the concept of a throwing knife, but you might never have seen one that looks like this before. It's an ancient Central African weapon called a Kpinga. In design, it's somewhere between a dagger and a throwing star of the kind that Japanese ninjas were once fond of using. Nobody's entirely sure who came up with the design, but it's commonly attributed to the Azande tribe of Ethiopia. They were notorious for their advanced military tactics and prowess on the battlefield, so it would make sense for them to have weapons that their opponents weren't familiar with. It dates back to the Iron Age, with the oldest surviving example believed to have been made a little over 2,700 years ago. While it might look a little unwieldy, modern replicas have been built and tested, demonstrating that the weapons are effective thrown overhead or sidearm from distances of up to 120 feet. The pattern of the blades and the distance between them are calculated to cause maximum damage upon impact. Getting them back after they'd been thrown might have been an issue, though. The Kusarigama is a traditional Japanese weapon that combines the lethal elegance of a sickle with the cunning versatility of a chain. Originating during the Muromachi period, this weapon has been steeped in legend and martial tradition. Unlike typical battlefield arms, the Kusarigama shines in one-on-one encounters, especially against sword-wielding opponents, though it's less effective against longer weapons like spears or naginatas. What's particularly fascinating about the Kusarigama is its method of use. The wielder swings the weighted chain to entangle or immobilize the opponent's weapon or limbs, creating an opening to strike with the sickle. This weapon comes in 3 distinct types, each with its unique style of handling and combat strategy, showcasing the depth and versatility inherent in Japanese martial arts. Despite its historical significance and the mystique surrounding its techniques, Modern perspectives vary, with some considering it an effective martial art tool, while others view it more as a cultural relic. Yet its legacy continues, from the schools of Kenjutsu and Jujitsu that teach the art of handling the Kusarigama to its portrayal in contemporary media. The flail, characterized by its striking head attached to a handle by a flexible link like a chain or rope, is best known for its ability to bypass an opponent's defenses, such as shields or parries. This weapon, which originated as an agricultural tool used for threshing grain, morphed into two main variants: the long-handed infantry weapon with a cylindrical head and the shorter version with a round metal striking head. The more intriguing aspect lies in the transformation of the peasant flail, a tool-turned-weapon, which saw action during uprisings and in the hands of foot soldiers, especially noted during the Hussite Wars. Despite its rustic origins, this weapon was adapted for combat, sometimes featuring spikes or studs for added lethality. On the other hand, the military flail, typically shorter and connected by chains, remained less common, with historical records suggesting it wasn't as widely used as popular culture might have us believe. The flail's evolution didn't stop at European borders. It inspired variations across Asia, like the nunchaku and the three-section staff. Despite its menacing appearance and the romantic aura surrounding it, the flail presents a paradox. Revered in tales and artworks, yet scarce in historical records and practical use. Next up is the Tekko, an Okinawa weapon that evolved from agricultural tools into an effective piece of martial arts equipment. The Tekko, essentially a modified horseshoe or stirrup, falls into the category of fist-load weapons, designed to increase the mass of the hand and thereby the impact of a strike. What's particularly captivating about the Tekko is its evolutionary journey from a simple stick, known as the yawara, through various stages to become the metal or hardwood weapon we know today. Initially serving practical purposes such as helping fishermen or being used as hairpins, they transformed into tools for self-defense, especially when weapons were banned in Okinawa. The Tekko's design, particularly in its horseshoe and stirrup forms, showcases a blend of offensive and defensive capabilities. Not just for punching, they could be used to block, hook, or stab in close combat situations, displaying a versatility beyond that of traditional brass knuckles. The controversy and debate between the horseshoe and stirrup designs among Kobudo practitioners add a layer of cultural depth, showing a commitment to preserving the integrity and history of Okinawan martial arts. The modern-day practice of Tekko kata remains a specialized art form taught by masters to those with a demonstrated commitment to martial arts. Here's a real oddity. It's the man catcher, a type of pole weapon that has evolved significantly from its historical roots. Initially, the man catcher was like something from a medieval tale. Picture this, a hefty pole fitted with a spring-loaded two-pronged head, each prong curving into a semicircle. This wasn't just any old pole arm. It was designed to ensnare a person, typically a knight in armor, right off his horse and bring him to the ground, immobilized and unable to escape. Imagine the dramatic scenes this would have created in medieval Europe. But let's not dwell on the past. Fast forward to modern times and you'll see the man catcher has taken on new forms and purposes, especially in Asian countries. In Japan, the Sasumara, a modern descendant of the traditional man catcher, is now used by riot police, albeit rarely, to control crowds while minimizing harm. Meanwhile, in China, various forms of man catchers help staff at train stations and airports manage unruly individuals safely. And let's not overlook the adaptation during the 2020 lockdowns in India and Nepal, where police modified the man catcher into a social distancing clamp. We're finishing things up with the Urumi, a sword that defies all conventional categories. Hailing from the lush landscapes of Kerala, India, this isn't your average blade. Imagine a sword with the flexibility of a whip, capable of coiling around the waist when not in use. The Urumi's unique design, with its whip-like flexible steel blade measuring barely an inch in width and a length ideally matching the wielder's arm span, usually between 4 to 5.5 feet, makes it a formidable weapon of choice. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. The Urumi is not just a blade. It's an extension of the wielder's body, demanding a dance of spins and agile maneuvers to control its deadly arcs. Its handling resembles that of a flail, but requires the finesse and skill of a seasoned martial artist, making it the last weapon taught in the traditional Indian martial art of Kalaripayattu. The Urumi's capability to fight multiple opponents with its long-reaching spins is nothing short of spectacular, and when it's time to rest, the blade coils up neatly around the wearer's waist, disguising its lethal potential. This blend of artistry and lethality cements the Urumi's place as a mesmerizing masterpiece of traditional weaponry. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!